biggest bang for your buck workout, I would highly recommend against this. What up, YouTube fam? Upon popular request, I'm going to do a video on how to run a faster mile or how to run a faster 1600 meter. If you guys haven't done so already, please consider hitting that subscribe button, smashing that like button, and give me a follow on social media. Links will be down in the description below. So I figured today would be a perfect opportunity to make a video on how to run a faster mile, given that it is May 6th. May 6th, 1954 was the first time in history that a man has broken 4 minutes in the mile. Sir Roger Bannister ran a 3:59.4 second mile to break that 4-minute barrier. At one point, 4 minutes in a mile was thought to be physiologically impossible for man. Now let me ask you guys, do you know the difference between man and machine? I'll give you a second. Well, the difference between man and machine is that one adapts and one does not. You have a machine. Once you have that machine, given at the state that it's in, it will continue to decrease in performance over time. Versus man, obviously given at what age, performance decreases, but it has the unique ability that a machine does not to adapt to whatever is being thrown at it, so that when it encounters that situation or that event in the future, it will perform at a lot easier level. When it comes to any event, any sport, you have to ask yourself one thing. Apply this principle to all your training aspects, and it is called the law of specificity, meaning that your body adapts very specifically to whatever you throw at it. If you want to get better at the mile, you have to train your body in such a way that it will stimulate certain physiological aspects of your body to be able to perform the mile at its peak. This video will be a video on training aspects. Make sure you check out the description before you watch this video. Now let me go off first by saying that there is no specific workout that you can do that would lower your mile time, or your 1600 meter time, or your 1500 meter time, or any time for that matter of any distance. It is always a multitude of factors that leads to an increase in performance, and you have to keep that in mind. Now I'm going to give you guys sample plans for different phases of training for the 1600 meter or the mile, but I want you guys to keep in mind that I don't want you to memorize workouts. I want you to apply this principle and critically think so you can come up with your own workouts when it comes to the event that you're trying to improve upon. Always ask yourself what you're trying to achieve with each workout, and more is not necessarily better, so be careful. Obviously listen to your coach, but if you're relatively new to training for the mile, I would just stick to the time spent running rather than the volume, so don't worry about mileage. Time spent running is more important than mileage because everyone covers distance at different paces. Alright, so going back to the law of specificity, we know that the mile is about 75% aerobic and 25% anaerobic, so that is one aspect that we can tailor our training on. We also know that it does take a lot more force production muscle-wise compared to your slower events, and the amount of lactate that your body produces in a mile is obviously going to be greater than if you were to run a 5K or a 10K. So we're going to tailor our training around the aspects of that. This takeaway before I start into this is to realize that the most important thing is to maximize your body's adaptation process. So much have I seen that runners, especially those younger, tend to overdo things, and I tend to overdo things. I can be a victim of that, which leads to your body adapting poorly. Look up the supercompensation principle on Google or whatever, and it'll explain the concept of stress, rest, and repeat. You need to take your harder days moderate and your easier days easier than you think. It takes the body about 48 hours for natural inflammation to subside, and about 48 hours for your body to replenish glycogen storage naturally. So I would like it if you guys were to plan these workouts at least 2 days in between. As with any program for any distance, there's always a periodization schedule. There's 4 levels of periodization. I'm sure you guys heard this before. There's that base phase that you guys start with, usually in the summer after your season's over, after some time off. There's the preseason phase, the in-season phase, and then the peaking phase. I'm going to go through a training week briefly on each phase of what you guys should be focusing on when training, or focusing primarily on the 1600 meter, the mile, or the 1500. Keep in mind, these are just my thoughts, my knowledge, my review on the concept. I would consider myself more of a 10K and up specialist. So you may notice that I may focus more on aerobic capacity and strength running versus speed and power. But a lot of these programs tend to have overlap. You could probably apply this same type of program to the 2 mile and the 5K easily. All right, so your base phase. The base phase lasts from 4 weeks to how long you want. depending where you are before your season starts. After you take time off from your last season, obviously talk to your coach, whether that be 5 days or 2 weeks. You want to have 3 weeks of just plain easy old running. And in the 3rd week, you can start incorporating your weekly long run of a minimum of 90 minutes. Distance does not matter, and make sure you're running these at an effort that is still aerobic, does not feel hard, they can still talk, and you would also begin to include some strides 3 days per week, anywhere from 6 to 8 strides. All right, preseason, 4 weeks to how long you want it. This is where we start to incorporate 3 quality workouts a week. One of them is your long run. You want to understand, this is known as the getting your body ready for the track season phase. An example workout you can do is first workout of the week, whether that for you, that could be Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday. I do my workouts Monday, Thursday, or my long run Saturday. Some people do theirs on Tuesday, Friday, long run on Sunday. Doesn't really matter. You can even do the long run after the day immediately after the second workout. You'd be fine. So first sample workout will be a repetition type workout, which would consist of repetitions with full recovery. So it's more on training your body's neuromuscular aspect, firing patterns, not lactate tolerance or anything like that just yet. So these workouts shouldn't be really too taxing. It should feel fast, but not too taxing. An example workout will be 3 sets of 200, 200, 400 with 200 meter jogs between the 200s and 400 meter jog after the 400, all at mile effort. The reason why these jogs need to be complete slogs, and the reason why is that you want full recovery between each so you can properly work on your form and train your body to run fast efficiently. You can also introduce hill work at this time. An example workout of hill work in place of this workout would be 8 by 30 second hills with full recovery jog down. Literally full recovery jog. If you have to walk or rest for a little bit, so you're ready to go to run each as efficient as the first. That's the way to go. The second workout of this preseason phase would be light threshold work or fartlek training. An example will be a 20-minute tempo run at half marathon effort, or 4 by 1 mile cruise intervals with 1 minute rests after each. Each of those miles can be a tad bit faster than half marathon effort. Or 8 by 2 minutes on, 1 minute off, continuous fartlek run with the 2 minute efforts at no faster than threshold pace. You will still do your weekly long run of about 90 minutes. I would say 90 minutes is fine if you're primarily focusing on the mile. But if you're going to focus on longer events during the summer or your base phase, you should focus on getting that long run up to about 2 hours. But if you're just focusing on the 800 and the mile, an hour and a half is fine. And you could start incorporating some light pickups at the end of every other week's long run, which would be like 6 to 8 strides within the run at the end. Forces type 2 muscle fiber recruitment. And you would do strides, 6 to 8 strides the day before each of these workouts, except the long run. All right, next we got the in-season phase, 6 weeks max. These workouts are very taxing on the body, and if you're in this phase for too long, you could do more harm than good. So continuing the trend, we still got our 3 quality workouts for the week. But remember the law of specificity. As the season or training cycles go on, the more specific the workouts are going to be tailored to that event that you're trying to peak in. Your first workout of the week will be your VO2 max workout, the biggest bang for your buck workout. I would highly recommend against this notion, but if for some reason you are pressed for time in trying to increase your performance, you can literally do 3 weeks of this cycle. In other words, 3 VO2 max workouts, and you'll get in pretty good shape pretty quickly. But if you want to be the best you can be, you need to go through each cycle respectively. VO2 max repetitions have to be at least 3 minutes in duration. An example workout would be 6 to 8 by 1K with half jog rest, or 6 to 8 by 3 minutes hard effort with 90 seconds jog rest if you don't have access to a track, or if the 1K distance is too much ground for you to currently cover right now. These should feel hard, huff and puff, and really take it out of you. Another workout, obviously build up to these, would be 4 to 5 by 1 mile with 3 to 4 minute jog rest at 5K effort. It's okay to have the jog rest a little bit longer this time because it takes your body about 2 minutes to get up to that sub VO2 max or VO2 max threshold when you hit huff and puff, so the recovery jog doesn't really matter as much in terms of duration, but it's important that you keep moving so that you don't lock up. You can even do your classic 1200 meter repeats. Just keep in mind that you have to keep the recovery short, so 1 to 0.5 ratio of run to recovery. The recovery should be a jog, and it will take about 2 to 3 of the 400s to get up to VO2 max effort. The second workout for this phase of training would be your tempo work. Tempo work stays pretty much the same through most programs. Durations might change, but the concept of training your body's lactate threshold holds true for all events. Because the further you can raise that lactate threshold bar, the easier it would be for you to maintain a pace for a longer period of time, as your body is becoming more efficient at clearing lactate as fast as it's producing it. Example workouts would be 20-minute tempo runs, 5 by 1 mile cruise intervals with 1 minute rests, and then add some 200 meters or 400 meters after these to simulate running at mile pace with 1-to-1 jog recovery. So a full jog recovery pretty much. The long run still stays at a minimum of 90 minutes at this point. You can start incorporating strides at the end of the long run like you did in the second phase, but every other week you can now alternate 15 minutes at the end of that long run to be at marathon pace, or you can add 6 20-second strides at the end of the long run. So alternate weekly with that. All right, next is the PEEP phase for your event. This lasts about 4 weeks. You want to focus on cutting back on quantity, not quality, to around about 75% of total volume. You will do these workouts about up to 8 to 10 days before your peak race. And you want your last workout to be a lactate tolerance workout. Every other week, you're going to alternate a lactate tolerance workout with a cutback VO2 max workout with added specific mile pacing at the end of that workout. So an example would be for the VO2 max workout, 3 to 4 by 3 minute with 2-minute jog recovery, followed by 4 by 400 at mile pace with 400 meter jog recovery. You would still do your tempo effort on that Wednesday and still long run on that weekend, but the long run will be cut back about 30 minutes. For lactate tolerance workouts, these are something that you have not been exposed to before at all during training leading up to this point. These workouts suck, but they do a good job of stimulating the enzyme necessary to clear lactate when it floods your legs. An example workout would be 6 by 200 meters at 800 meter pace with 30-second standing recovery, or 3 by 400 meter at 95% effort with 4-minute standing recovery, or 5 by 300 meter with 45-second standing recovery, the 300 meter at 800 meter pace. You do not need to do tempo work the week of a lactate tolerance workout. Like I said, 8 to 10 days out from your peak race is your last true workout. 5 days out, you would do 1 400 meter at goal mile pace, followed by 4 by 200 meters at mile pace with full recovery. You would do strides the day before. Check out my pre-race video that I have. I'll post a link to that video at the end of this video. And then when it comes race day, you fly. So yeah, this is my video on how to run a faster mile, 1600 meter, or 1500 meter. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Hit that notification bell for when I post my next video. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.